Evening, everyone. It's Wednesday evening, a few minutes after 6, and this is your closing comment. It is video number 1211. And I apologize for saying that today was the last day of the quarter. It is not, it's tomorrow. Somebody explained to me about 30 days has September, etc. And I was just way off. So there you go. Tomorrow is the last day of the quarter. All right, so we had a bunch of news today. We had the third look at GDP, 6.9 versus 7.1, so a little bit of a disappointment. We had the ADP payroll number, 455 versus an expectation of 440, so that was positive. And we had mortgage applications down another 6.8%. This is the fourth week in a row. Last week it was down 8.1, so there you go. As far as the markets go, they opened to the downside and they stayed that way pretty much all day, with a little bit more of a sell off in the Russell and the NASDAQ than in the Dow or the S&P. The Dow was down just 66.38, or less than 0.2%. Followed by the NASDAQ down 177.36, or 1.2%. S&P down 29.15, or 0.6%, and the Russell down 42.03. The big loser down 1.97%. Transports were down 171, that's a little over 1%, and the VIX was actually up, but not very much, still under 20, 1933, up 43 cents, or 2.28%. What was interesting was that the NYSE advanced declines were 2.1 to 1 to the downside, whereas the NASDAQ was only 1.8 to 1 to the downside. And it was down 6 times as much on a percentage basis. Volume came back down a little. Yesterday's was 5.9, today 5.4, still well above that 4.9 to 5 billion shares that we've been seeing all along. Chart on the screen is the oil. We discussed it this morning. I said it looks like it's trying to make a bottom here, with yesterday's close 2/3 up on the range. Today it gapped up and closed pretty close to the high at 107.82, up 358. I think that the problem comes in here around 112. This is an area of some pretty decent supply. We have the 5-day rolling over, even though the 20-day is level and the others are rising. So we'll see how we act anywhere from basically today's high at 108.75 all the way up to this 110, 112 area. The other one that I want to show you again is the gold. I told you Dennis has really been right on here. His year-to-date number is up 63%, and he has been specializing in the gold. We came down, I told you when we were up here that we were going to have trouble in this 1975 area. I thought we could go to 19. Well, we got down to 1893 and bounced off this 50-day moving average, closed up 2/3 on the range, same as the oil today, up, although this one did in fact close the crossed over the 5 through the 20-day to the downside. We're coming right back up to it again. This is basically the same chart as the oil. I think 1960 is an area of a problem. We'll see what happens when we get there. We closed pretty close to the high of the day. The high was 1943.40, and we closed 1939. That's 19 off the low and only 4 off the high. Open interest is again building here, which is kind of interesting because it was so dormant for this whole period of time. The other one that we are in that I want to show you is the 30-year bonds. We're in the TLT. This is interesting because this line that you only see a portion of, I'll show you the whole thing, comes at before the breakout to the upside. This is 2007. This is, as I pointed out this morning, 2018. This is this week. So we bounced off this line several times. We're still towards the bottom, but if we look at the daily, you can see that it's becoming very, very constructive. Here's the 6 month. We hit that line. We tried it for 3 days and held above it on the close every one of those days, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. And today we were at a recovery high or close. What I'd like to see is a solid break of this 150 and 8/32. So 150 and a quarter would break this out, and I think that we could get up into the 151, 152 area. We paid $1.10 for these calls. They closed, I believe, $1.14 today. So, anything that we get from here on out would be very positive. Okay, as far as stocks, I mentioned Chewy this morning being down on disappointing earnings. It was down about $6 or $7. Finished the day 42.79, down $8.21 or 16%. MU, when I mentioned it this morning, was actually up $3.50 at about 85.40, and it closed 79.16, reversed that up 5 to down 3.5% on the day. Lulu's high last night on their good earnings was 374. It went through that and closed 376.92, up 32.95 or 9.6%. And RH, which is the old Restoration Hardware, they reported guidance was poor. Their CEO was talking about all the problems with supply chain and inflation. It was a very downbeat call with poor guidance. The stock closed 334.28, down 51.41 or 13%. So pretty big drop there. Meme stocks got pounded. AMC 25 and a quarter, down 420 or 14%. GameStop 163.80, down 16.10 or 9%. And Bed Bath and Beyond 23, down 423 or 16%. Tomorrow we have personal income and spending. We have the PCE. We have claims. It's Thursday, so it's claims day, and we have Chicago PMI. I'll be back in the morning. Hope everyone had a good day, and don't forget to try, if you can stand him, to watch Kramer tonight. He has Sharif Suki from Tellurian on. I'm recording it so somebody can tell me what time it was on, so I don't have to actually watch and listen to him. All right, everyone, in the morning.